Hello everybody and welcome back to the chassis series with the Kitfox C variant this time. Now the C variant is probably the most commonly seen Kitfox out there, mainly because it's a great little support unit. This is mainly because of the omnipods. The right arm of the C variant comes with triple AMS and an ECM hardpoint with a single energy point in there, which means it can cover a team from a hell of a lot of LRM fire and still be able to do a little tiny bit of damage, but it can also remain hidden as well, so within a cluster of larger mechs it not only shields them from a majority of missiles that are incoming, unless there's overwhelming firepower of course, but it also keeps them hidden from LRMs in the first place, at least for a brief time. So for that reason you probably come across more C variant equipped Kitfox sort of Franken Omnipod builds than you do any other. And this isn't a bad thing. Obviously with laser AMS being in play these days, it means that the mech is fully capable of pretty much running probably heat neutral, because there isn't much you can do with a C variant weapon wise. I mean, looking at it on Smurfy, the left arm is 2 ballistics, 2 energy, and then you've got the 1 energy in the left arm, so it does have more potential firepower than the prime variant, but a lot of its equipment is also heavily tied up in the fact that it's using a lot of support stuff instead, so you don't get as much ammunition for your ballistics weapons, and obviously you're kind of hampered in other respects. As stock, it does come with 2 machine guns and a small pulse and an ER large. So as I said, it's not too badly equipped for its size, but it does obviously have a few drawbacks, let's say. For its heavy emphasis on the support role. So yeah, the C variant is definitely one of the ones that, if you're more of a support player, is definitely worth picking up if you haven't tried it already. And obviously there are other mechs out there nowadays that do have things like quad, double or triple AMS, but this one was particularly popular for the time just because it's got a very low profile, it can use cover quite well on maps, and it means that, as I said, it can hide within friendly units and be able to give them plenty of cover. And you know, the AMS bonus is always very, very pleasant to see at the end of a round when you've taken out like a few thousand LRMs, for instance. Sort of lore-wise, the C variant was developed as an attempt to make it a scout mech. As I said in the Prime video, the Kitfox wasn't really developed along the similar lines as other clan lights. It was built around the idea of being a much more weapon-heavy light, one that was meant to kill stuff rather than scout stuff. But this was an attempt to try and make it a little tiny bit more sort of focused around doing some of the old sneaky business. Normally it comes with A-pods equipped in the legs to take out any infantry that might swarm it while it's scouting, but obviously A-pods aren't really a necessity within MechWarrior Online, so they're not needed unless they add infantry one day, which is highly unlikely. And it does come with a Beagle probe as standard as well, so a bit like the Mistlinks, it's already pre-equipped to try and detect shutdown mechs and obviously cut through some of the ECM that it may encounter out in the field. But with the build, it does feel like it's largely built to take on infantry and small vehicles, with the single laser being there, large laser being there to try and help with damaging other mechs should it need to. But this one is less emphasis on mech-to-mech combat and more emphasis on deep scouting operations. It's still relatively slow compared to other lights, which means if it ever did get caught out, it has to rely almost entirely on its very limited weapons payload. So, yeah, I'd still recommend trying out the C. If nothing else, buy the right arm, because you will probably use it a lot, especially if there's any events out there that PGI do in the future, for instance, that emphasise shooting a lot of missiles down. Then you're going to want to take a mech that's equipped with a lot of AMS, and this is a pretty good choice. It's relatively cheap by comparison to some of the other mechs out there, and I found out that Kitfox don't fit through that gap. So I like it. I don't mind it. It's quite heat neutral. The machine guns are useful, especially when you've got a lot of cover. I I was quite happy with this match because I managed to stay close to heavier mechs that were taking the hits, they were doing the damage, and I was there supporting them, keeping them covered from missile fire, keeping them covered with ECM the whole time. I think I was doing my job as a sort of ECM-equipped scout, making sure that the bigger mechs, when I could, were being protected and that I was covering them from any missile fire. Ammunition is probably a slight issue with the AMS. You only get about 2,000 rounds for each one, and as you know, AMS ammo will just get eaten up very quickly. So if you do tinker with it, you might want to maybe drop maybe the ER large down a bit so you can have a bit more ammunition. Obviously, maybe skill up for a bit more AMS ammo, those kind of things. But overall, I think that the build, if you just take the whole mech, and you can probably find a pretty decent little modification, probably something like triple small pulse, or drop the ballistics entirely and just focus on maybe like 1 or 2 heavier weapons to use in the energy slots, something along those lines. You'll probably find something that will work well for you, and still be able to bring the AMS and the ECM and just be a really, really solid light support with some pretty nasty firepower. So yeah, that's probably enough from me, as the cats won't stop meowing. And they're particularly antsy today. I've had to shout at them a couple of times to try and keep them quiet. Yeah, sorry if they've distracted at all. Maybe they realise it's a Kitfox and they're pissed off that it's not a Kit Kat. Kit Kats. I haven't had one of them in a while. Anyway, see you next time, folks. Bye.
Enemy base is being captured. Target destroyed. Base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured.
Need assistance!
Base 25% captured. Base is being captured. Enemy base is being captured.